you're following on YouTube, you should see it. So we are live now, folks. Alright, everybody, welcome. This is another Streams of Spero and another chapter that I'm running. Yes, I know that has been pretty insane, as you've seen a few of them already pop up. This is number 4 of the chapters that I've broken up from the Streams of Spero. I am Benito, your humble DM for this group. On the very bottom, you may remember Jeremy, and he's back playing the one character who decided to help we thought one of our favorite heroes, Zindred's family. Like, all as important as much as we loved her and cared, and our sacrifices for the Raven Queen and all that, it was only Jeremy and his character who decided that it was more important to come back here. I have a few cast of friends that are now also new to this and joining us, and we'll introduce ourselves going through. But Jeremy, can you tell us the person that cared the most about Zindred's family coming back?
Obviously, that would be Veh'mont, the only other elf in the party, as it were, and also another humble believer in Zindred's patron.
Yes, and now though you are a Titan her though, which is a big deal.
That's true.
So
I'm a Titan now.
I get to be humble, you get to be mighty. Let's go from that. All right, follow right up above you is the lovely Kelly.
Hi, I'm Kelly. I'm playing Priestess Alar.
And you are the aunt to Zindred in this house, correct?
Yes.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
And Jared.
Hi, I'm Jared. I am playing the sorcerer, Titorian. I am Priestess Alar's older brother, and I am also I believe, the uncle to Zindred as well.
You are. And Andy.
Hi, my name is Andy. I am playing Narfu the Orc, and I don't really know much of anything. I'm just here to punch stuff.
Yeah, we will find more about Narfu as we go into this. All right, let us kind of recap of what is happening. As you may know, the House Zindula has decided it was going to leave the goddess Lloth and change its following and beliefs to other gods. They did this for survival. They have realized that if they continue to follow the Spider Queen, she will conspire a house to destroy them sometime in their lifespan. And they did not want that to happen anymore. They want to change how the Drow Society has been going about living. And they have gone to Silk, they have gone to the Raven Queen, they have gone to Tiamat to change that. Silk and the Raven Queen have a lot of influence. Silk the most, because she is being followed by the Matron Mother. Now, all the Matron Mother and her daughters all were priestesses of Lloth, and now have abandoned her and gotten power from different deities depending on who they've chosen. So the Spider Queen is upset. Her first house, the house that she is mostly favored, has betrayed her and shunned her and casting her aside. So she is about to gather these houses, and they're about to act against them. And just before they're doing that, Veh'mont will have arrived. So Veh'mont, you will arrive to the house. So you will pretty much surprise everybody by entering the chambers of the first house, Zinnobilia. And a number of the obsidian ravens will, pretty much present arms about to strike at you until you say something.
Okay. So when I walk in, what am I seeing here?
You're not walking in. You're like really appearing right in where the Matron Mother sits, and they're like, "How did you get past all the wards?" You're like, they're surprised. They're kind of confused for sure, because no one should be able to get past the wards that are in the royal court house of the first house. And I don't believe you have any NPC. Do you have any NPCs with you? Did some come with you?
Yes, there was one.
You have Laura?
I think Laura came with. Yep.
Okay, so that is where they are. Like, they have not just jumped to attack you, it's because you are side by side with another one of the Obsidian Ravens.
Perfect. And when we left off months ago, I had casted minor illusion to make or disguise self rather, to make myself also look like a drow.
Yep.
So I don't look different either.
Okay.
So, hi.
One of them go, "How did you get in here?" And as they look, they go, "Shadow Smite?" She goes, "Yes, Zeno. We've returned. We've come here to help the house. This is a priest of the Raven Queen as well. A friend of all of ours. Where is Zindred?" She kind of looks to you to explain that situation.
Zindred is on another important mission. She is trying to save everybody. Like normal. Typical Zindred.
The matron mother kind of stands and goes, "What do you mean my granddaughter is trying to save everyone, and then you arrive here with one of her bodyguard?"
Oh, well, typical God War stuff. Gods were killed, and now we have to make it so the other gods don't want to kill everybody else. That type of thing.
Gods are killed, or a god has been killed?
Well, I only witnessed one, but who's to say more haven't died since?
So the war has begun. You freed her.
Oh yes, for sure.
Excellent. Then we must act quickly for our defense.
Yeah, because you have a different god here, right? Like another one.
We are combating Lloth, who our people worship the most. But all of the houses are going to strike against us, knowing that we have brought Silk in and seeking her down and Lloth's downfall.
Okay. Well, I'm here to do my best to make sure that doesn't happen.
And you are priest of the Raven Queen?
Is that what she said I was? Oh, sure. I get. If she wants to call me a priest, then I guess I will be a priest.
You're a follower then?
Absolutely.
I see.
I'm definitely a follower. I don't do the priestly ways very well.
Okay. We will prepare things. I need information filled in. But since you are of the Raven Queen, I will have my granddaughter and my sorcerer figure out what has happened. They will collect information from you as I prepare the rest of us for the intrusions of the other matron mothers. She looks to her side and goes, "Narula, take him to Alar." She goes, "Of course, matron mother." A very formidable armored drow warriors, shield, sword. You would almost feel that she is very similar to Zindred in a lot of ways. Like, there's a lot of characteristics of Zindred that you see in her. But she definitely seems a little bit more rigid in her military tone than Zindred has has been able to be more negotiating and empathic to the people you remember her dealing with.
Okay.
So you're led.
A stern individual.
Yes, you're led out of the courtroom into a very kind of formal living room area, and from there, as you are given time to sit, and Laura did not go with you. Alar, you will be brought in by another member of the Obsidian Ravens. His name is Zameth. You know him as. He is kind of like he's one of the holier of the Obsidian Ravens. He's definitely a big follower of the Raven Queen in a lot of ways. So you and him have a bit of a good rapport when it comes to him being around protecting a lot. He seems to like protecting you and I believe your mother. Oh no, your cousin. Zamoth goes, Veh'mont, may I present you Alar, can't read all my notes, the fourth daughter of the matron mother.
Okay. Does that make you a sister to Zindred? Or what are you?
Her aunt.
I'm her aunt.
Oh, awesome. Nice to meet you. I'm gonna bow deeply.
I nod my head in acknowledgement.
So why did they bring me to you?
You have changed to the Raven Queen, so your faith is now similar to his.
Okay.
Remember,
Our faith is similar.
yeah, the matron mother does not follow the Raven Queen. She follows Silk.
Yes.
Okay. So you are actually a priestess,
Yes.
and I don't know why they think I am, but I'm gonna tell you, I'm not.
Okay, good to know. What are you then?
I am handy with the blade, and I don't mind killing stuff,
That's good.
and I can steal anything,
Also good.
and I look innocent all the time.
Also good.
As you get to that point, Narula has returned with you, Titurian. You were told, at least by Narula, Titurian, that you need to figure out what has happened to Zindred and the events that she was a part of. And then you're going to brief the matron mother, the two of you.
Okay, so I walk into the room and see my sister there, obviously. I look at this individual, Veh'mont. What do I see when I look at him? Like, what does he look like? And just a general vibe. What am I getting off of him?
White hair, long bangs, kind of a top knot in the back.
Okay.
Looks young, because as an elf, I'm only 67 years old. So I'm like a 13, 14, 15-year-old-ish. So my character looks young.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
Nope, no problem. Black garb, that's about it.
Okay. I know this is kind of like out of character, but previously you said to Benny that you had casted minor illusion on yourself. I being proficient in the arcane arts, is this something I would notice kind of like right off the bat? Like, this guy kind of isn't.
Not with the disguise self, not without something,
Okay.
unless you went in with like a true seeing spell on or whatever like that. So
Okay, got it. So I just see what I see.
Yep.
I walk in, I introduce myself. Hello, my name is Titurian, and I offer a hand out to this individual.
I'm just gonna bow deeply. I don't really do the handshaking thing. That's weird.
I'm going to very difficultly hide my frustration at that, being that I'm a bit of a noble and I have a bit of a stick up my ass. I kind of expect everyone to shake my hand if I offer, but I'll just kind of put it down on my side.
this is your first taste with a Jeremy and B Veh'mont.
I will. I'll say. I hear you have news of my niece Kindred. What can you tell me of her?
Well, yes.
Or I'm sorry, not Kindred, Zindred. My apologies.
Well, I'm glad that you got her name right, because I was a little concerned there. she's currently dealing with gods and things of the larger world. Um, so she really wanted to be back here to help, especially defend her own house. But you know, Zindred, she's always looking to do the bigger thing.
Can you tell me specifically what gods she's dealing with?
So we managed to free Silk,
Okay.
and because of that, kind of pissed off the rest of the Pantheon, I'd say. So I know Silk killed Hermes, not the best thing to do, and I kind of wish she hadn't done that. So, Zindred's dealing with the rest of that Pantheon, I suppose. I think Zeus and some others. I wasn't there, though, because I came back here for Zindred.
So you're here to relay a message or show support to our house?
Yes, and yes.
Kelly, can you give me an insight check right now, please? You get the first roll.
Woo! First roll.
Yes, you might have to help me on how to do that on D&D Beyond.
If you go to your skill thing, you'll see a little plus number to your insight or negative or whatever. It's a little number next to it, a little box. All you gotta do is tap it, and it's going to go right. It's going to roll you a d20 automatically and add that skill for you.
So I just need to tap.
The little positive or the negative of 0 or positive number that's in a little box next to it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I got a 14.
You did. So Alar, as you are hearing your brother talk to him and kind of questioning what's going on, you get more of a feeling within you that this is just not a young little man in front of you, a young elf in front of your people. He has power. He has that connection with the Raven Queen that you feel very, divine sense wise. Like he is something of extreme power to the Raven Queen that you're not fully sure what that means or how to explain it. But you have been around your other sister, who's also a follower of the Raven Queen, and others, and you are high priestesses. You have made a living and a new culture for this, and you have felt peace with that and felt the power of your spells that come through this. But being next to him is like, really feeling the Raven Queen nearby. Like he's exuding this aura of she's here. She's sort of watching. Like he's got something very heavily divine with that you know that this is definitely not some demon or devil or some type of creation that Lloth could be tricking in. This is definitely your goddess's touched creation. What he is, you may need to inquire more to get that explanation.
Sorry, I muted and then unmuted and then muted myself.
It's all good.
Is there a way for me to I'm sorry.
It's all good. You're all getting into this, and there's definitely a long story going on, and you guys are playing an extreme catch-up game. So remember, you have NPCs if you're not familiar with. That's where those are in your background. You have other, like I said, you have your older sister. So there's things you can kind of wait on if you want, and there's other things you can kind of do to change. There are 2 obsidian ravens that are also outside, that if you want to lean on them, they're also there for you. Like I said, I'm trying to make this as comfortable as you guys need.
Can I ask
Zamith, yep.
Zamith, if he knows who he is.
Zamith
If they've
does not.
interacted before,
He's-
as
Zamith can only tell you that whispering to you, he goes, "My lady, he came with Laura." That's strange in itself, that she vouched for him. She doesn't like anybody. And
Right.
they are claiming to know of your niece. But I also feel he is attuned to our goddess. He does not lie. There is something of him. I'm not sure what. I'm not sure why. But there is the brush of the feathers of the Raven Queen that is strong in that one. To help this, Narula will go up now because she's pretty bold. She will continue this. So, Veh'mont, this quest that Zindred is doing, is she planning on returning or not?
What answer would you like?
Zamith goes, she would prefer that she is not, but that is not the one she's going to answer, right? Of course, I would always love to have our greatest champion return. She does have our goddess's blade. She is the Holy One. And for that, for
I
you
know
two,
Zindred.
I
I'm
will
not
let you
sure
know.
she'll return.
Yeah, I'll let you know, Jared and Kelly. Zindred, your niece, has a holy weapon. She's a paladin. She has the holy weapon of the Raven Queen. So, a blade that the Raven Queen supposedly fabricated herself, she gave to Zindred to start this coming into this world. And all of these Obsidian Ravens they are multi-class paladins. They were other classes until they took paladin levels into the Raven Queen. So, this whole order is a very strong order. They are very competent NPCs for you. And all of them have many paladin powers, so yes, they can heal. So that makes them a very formidable elite band. And there are, I believe, 13 of them in total.
So we are aware that Zindred has this weapon.
Yes.
Previous characters already know that.
That's why I'm kind of making sure, because this was kind of like going on. And you will also know. Let's see. Let's just keep guys doing some rolls. Why don't you each roll insight checks again, and we'll give you a little bit about Narula.
I 15 plus 5. I rolled a 20.
All right. Okay. So
I rolled a 9.
yeah, Alar, you've been pretty happy with the way things have been going pretty well, and you don't get much protection from the Obsidian Ravens much. But Tatarian, you know that there's a lot of things that the Obsidian Ravens have to protect, and a lot of your family members, and you watch more than get the protection, so you've seen a lot more of their interaction. Narula and Zindred don't like each other. They have both put in the order, and Narula really has been that beta to her alpha. Like, if she can take her power, she would. She's got a lot of the old drow ways in her. But again, she is very still following the order of the Raven Queen. So she's had to bite her tongue. She's had to kind of bend the knee, so to speak, to allow Zindred, because Zindred is the daughter of the royal house, where Narula isn't. But if Narula could snatch that power away, you don't have any doubt that she would do that.
Do I get the impression that Narula would even betray the Raven Queen, or potentially betray our house to snatch that power from Zindred? Do I kind of?
Nope.
Is this more of like a personal feud between the two of them, like kind of like a jealousy thing?
Yes.
Or is it
It is definitely a personal, like, you know for a fact that she wouldn't betray, like, this. The whole order is very, very, very loyal.
Okay.
But Narula isn't going to shed a tear if Veh'mont right now told her that Zinder died. she would be like, okay, now I'm taking over. But she would protect Zindred, as if she is one of the royal house. She would give her life for Zindred. So those are still things that is part of. So she's very coded in her honor and her obligations and her oaths. But she definitely does not care if bad things should happen to Zindred type of personality.
Okay. At this point, I think I'll just I'll step away from Veh'mont and just kind of pull my sister Alara aside, just so we can kind of be away for a second, and just ask her, so what do you think of this guy? Do you believe what he's saying? Should we be suspicious?
Yes.
Okay. I will turn around and go back to Veh'mont and say to him, I believe what you are saying is true, but I also believe that you are hiding details that could be very, very important. So I would like to give you another opportunity to come fully clean and give us any and all information regarding our niece, our beloved niece, Sindri. We know that you don't have any ill intentions, but you're clearly not being 100% truthful. Are there things that you cannot tell us, or are there things you're not willing to tell us?
Who knows? Could just be stuff I don't remember.
Okay, that's fair.
Can I flat out ask if this is your true form?
Am I an elf? Absolutely, all the time. All the time.
Insight check.
You may roll an insight check. Jeremy, you may obviously roll your deception, because that's what you're doing.
What for? I'm not lying. I'm 100% truthful.
I'm gonna give you advantage, Jeremy, to their roll.
Oh, are we both?
Yep, you each gonna roll an insight, and I'm gonna allow him. I'm gonna allow Jeremy to roll at advantage.
Okay.
I'm glad you gave me advantage, because I got that nat 20, which I needed with my -1.
Ooh.
Oh no.
So nat 20.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
I got a 19.
Yeah. Again, Veh'mont is definitely. You're just getting a lot of naive youngness out of him. He's definitely been placed here, but he obviously doesn't have a lot. Like, you're now getting the idea that he was a tag-along, he was supporting in some aspect. Maybe you're not getting, because he just doesn't have a lot of tactical sense of what was kind of happening with him. So you definitely can see the youth, because again, like he's saying, he's like 13 to us human years. So he's kind of obnoxious in a lot of aspects of that when you're trying to get more thorough detail out of him. But he's definitely not lying. I mean, and you sense that he's definitely a thing of the Raven Queen. The only real questions now going for you guys would be, why does he exude more than your high priestesses exude? Like, that would be something that is a good question for you to be understanding. Like, why is he giving you Raven Queen vibes where, Jared, you don't feel that from Alara. Like, you don't, there's nothing like that. He is definitely giving you some of this divine presence. And he hasn't, and you know he's not doing anything.
Yeah, I guess that's more what I was trying to get at when I was trying to press him a little further about not being 100% truthful. I'm sorry, just for a point of clarification, you said you came here with Laura?
Yes. She is
Who is Laura?
Laura is one of the 13 Obsidian Ravens.
Okay.
A number of, and I will give you a history check on this, that, not history check, a history lesson. Several of the Raven, when Zindred left, and this is in your backstory, she left and she selected a number of Obsidian Ravens to go with her. Not all 13 went with her. So I will give you a list of the names of those that went. So she left Narula behind. This is where Narula has been really running the roost for you guys here. So Jaharis Tass, the archer of the Obsidian Ravens, went. Raldan Oil went. Laura Toron went. And I think those are, yeah, those are the only, those are the 3 she took with her. All the other ones stayed behind. Okay? Oh no, the other one that did go, I should put one more thing in it, because she was an Obsidian Raven. The High Priestess's Magaparella's first daughter, Nashimi, she went with Zindred as well. Okay? However, Nashimi, Jerez have already returned, and it is just Laura and Rydell who are not, Roldan are not present at this time. Well, weren't present at this time until Laura just showed up with this guy.
Okay. I think at this point, at least feeling like there's definitely a divine presence of this individual, that he is, even though maybe I feel like I'm not getting all the information I want, but feeling that he is trustworthy, I think maybe at this point, maybe it would be a good idea for myself, Alar, and Laura specifically to go back and talk to our mother.
Okay.
Hestius.
Yep. All right. So they'll excuse themselves.
I want to leave Veh'mont in whatever room he was in, just like not like held captive or anything, just with like, you know.
Oh, he's gonna be held sort of captive.
Okay, yeah, sure. Just like just secured in a room, like he doesn't need to be put in shackles or anything. But just like I just want some people watching him, because like I don't kind of know 100% about what.
Zaymeth will be left to watch, keep an eye on him.
Okay.
You two and Norella will return to your matron mother. Meanwhile,
I'm gonna spark a conversation with David.
okay, hold on, we'll give you that. Meanwhile, Narfu, you are amongst many of your brethren until there is a stir that you're hearing among your people. You're preparing for war. Again, it is time to ready you all, as the houses seem to be ready to march on the first house. How do you feel? What would you like to do?
I feel amped up and ready to go, man. I want
Okay.
to hype my guys up so they feel the same way.
All right. I am going to get a name. The weapon master of the first house, Ubin, comes down, and he looks to you. Narfu, it is time to get the men ready. We may be struck at. I need men all around to the walls. Can you put a capable force together?
Absolutely.
The matron mother says there is a stranger that has returned as well. You and 2 of your best men will accompany me, as we want you to watch this new man that has arrived.
Consider him watched.
Give me 2 names. You can put it in chat. Those are your 2 guys that you trust as your strongest arms. So 2 orc names that you want. All right? And then you're going to follow Ubin up into the main house. While you're doing that, we'll go back to Jeremy. Jeremy, you wish to talk to Zaymeth?
Yeah.
Okay, do it. He's kind of...
Is there a list I should be picking from, or am I making up names?
You can do however you feel like you want to come up with the names. Just give it me in text, okay, and the messenger, and you can give it in the regular chat, because they would know who these. They might know who these people are in history, or at some point they might want to know. But overall, they're just slaves.
Just slaves.
Well, until you guys change this culture, man, this is what it's about. I'm going to be treating people as I am a dark elf. So yeah, Zaymeth is he's leaning against the side of the door frame, allowing you to just chill, whatever, how you want to do it.
How's it going, buddy?
I'm watching you, who I don't know anything about, so I would call it, unproductive.
I'm just walking around the room touching stuff. What's in the room?
This is a very lush, fancy. You would say that most things in here are very expensive. They would fetch very high prices in most cities.
Yeah, but I can't take things from Zindred's family. I'll take things from other people's families.
Obviously.
So, what do you do normally?
I protect the noble members of the first house.
Oh, you're like one of Zindred's guys, basically.
I am one of the servants of the Obsidian Raven, yes.
Well, that's good to know, because they were extremely trustworthy and great to fight with. Even if we did lose one and then have to bring him back to life, that was really interesting, actually.
You returned life to one of our own.
Yeah.
Who fell.
What's his name again?
Raldan, I take it.
That doesn't sound right.
He is the one that went with you.
Was he the only male with us, though?
He was.
Okay, because that name doesn't sound right.
I think they might have lost the N on his while they were out with you guys.
Yeah. Because you're saying it, I'm like, that doesn't sound right.
I know, I was looking back at this too, going like, I think he was called Randall when they were talking to him.
Yeah.
However, Zindred wanted to name him.
Yes, the one male Obsidian Raven that was with us did fall. Mind you, he didn't fall in fair combat. He was slain like a dog because our enemies were not worthy fighters.
Makes sense. How is it that you could stand next to the Shadow Smite?
She's awesome. We're buddies.
Your buddies
Yes.
with Laura.
Yeah.
I do not believe that is actually possible.
It is if you're not a prick and she enjoys talking to you. I mean, she doesn't talk a lot. It's more of a if she enjoys being in your vicinity kind of thing.
You touched by the Raven Queen might give you an edge to this matter, but I still find it hard to believe that Laura likes anybody.
I mean, she likes Zindred.
Most of us like Zindred.
You just said Laura doesn't like anybody.
I said most. Laura does not like... Well, Laura likes Zindred to serve her well, although she breaks a lot of Zindred's rules.
Yep. And Zindred looks the other way. Maybe that's why Laura likes Zindred. But that might be why we get along too. I mean, we kind of just do our own thing.
So you're an agent of murder, I take it then.
I mean, I don't just murder people. That's not right.
Why not? It is an art in the society here.
Yeah, that's true, but Zindred doesn't think it's an art, so I don't think it's an art.
It is the roots that Laura came from.
That's fair. And I can see that Laura really does think it's an art. I mean, she's always doing it.
Yes. So you have come here to do what? Unravel the royal family?
I mean, I think I was mostly just in here to help defend Zindred's family. But at the same time, since I've already been dealing with gods, it seems like maybe we should also remove the current god, because she doesn't really seem like one worth worshipping.
So by take it, we just need to send you to each of the matron mothers, one by one. You should be able to do it all.
Well, I don't think it'd be that easy, right? Because males are not really privileged here, so I don't think it'd be that easy to get to any of them, being myself.
Right. But you have some aspect of murder about you. There's got to be some use for you. Am I correct?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm not saying that if I don't happen to get to the target that I won't kill them, because I probably will.
How did you fall into the blessings of the Raven Queen? She is a new goddess that we have really just discovered ourselves here. Yet, you seem to have much of her blessings, her faith and direction, if you're touching other gods.
Oh, well, I mean, she comes from where she comes from the Shadow Realm, and Zindred worships her. So when I met Zindred, I took a liking to Zindred, and therefore I worship the Raven Queen as well.
I need you to make that deception check now. Nice RP slip. I like it.
12.
Where does your drow house reside, young man?
The Upper East Side.
Upper
Yeah.
East Side. What was your house name? Your name? Your house name?
Dunlap.
Dunlap. Ah, yes. Those are very well removed from the other houses, though. Very poor. Yet you have the Raven Queen's blessings?
I mean, you're saying that beggars can't worship?
No, of course. Beggars can always worship. I mean, some of us came
Why
from
would a
very
deity
low roots.
not answer them?
I'm just wondering how you gained the notice of Zindred being a beggar who worships.
I think it was more because of the rest of the party that brought me into her attention.
Ah, the rest of the party, yes. Yes, those warforged people we have fought for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, there was a Warforged, there was an ugly barbarian. Very ugly. He even lost a hand.
I imagine, fighting gods.
There was a water lady, but she fooled Zindred, so Zindred didn't really like her at first.
Oh.
Who else was there?
Do you have... I'm sorry, Veh'mont. Do you have siblings?
No.
So you come from a poor house, and your mother only has a son.
Yes, that's probably why we're poor.
Ah, and also probably why you're willing to get rid of the Spider Queen so readily, being the only male child to a house.
Well, yeah. Wouldn't you?
I am no nobility, I just serve them. Keeping the first house in its position will do me well in the ranks of its order, if we survive, or I'll be hanging on the walls if the other matron mothers of the Spider Queen have their way.
But do you not see a problem in that?
Well, this has been the way of the City of Eternal Night for centuries. I did not choose this fight. The matron mother did.
Could be time for change.
Could be. And you come here as a poor house to throw your lot in with us.
it seemed like the right cause.
What
And
was your mother's?
Zindred is a warrior worth following.
She is. What is your mother's name? Your matron mother.
Vanessa.
Vanessa. Of House Dunlap.
Yes.
In the northeast.
Well, Middle East.
Middle East, yes. Well, excellent. I hope these furnishings are to your likings then.
Oh yeah, quite fine. I mean, I've seen it before because traveling was injured. She doesn't like anything that's not like this.
Of course, that would be to Zindred's taste for sure. Alright, we'll leave you there. So, Tatarian and Alar, you will find your mother. She is commanding others around to do things. As you approach, she will beckon you forth. What have you found?
I'll kind of keep my head low, just because we're still kind of in the process, I imagine, of I've always kind of been shunned by my mother and my sisters for the most part, so I'll kind of keep my head low in sort of in a subdued sort of fashion, and I'll gesture to my sister for her to sort of relay sort of what we've heard already and her feelings on the individual that appeared in our house so suddenly with no warning.
All right, what do you want to tell her?
I want to tell her that he has clearly been blessed by the Raven Queen, but does not seem to be who he appears to be.
Do we know how he's being honored by the Raven Queen?
No.
He mentioned these God War that is now happening. Does he have any more information on exactly what this is entailing? Where we lie with our own goddesses?
There was no information about that he seemed willing to divulge. And I'll kind of like look at Laura a little bit, gesture to her like, who is this man and why are you with him? Like, what can you tell us about him? Hoping that she can give us a little
Laura will
more
step
insight
up.
into-
She's part of this now thing going on. Veh'mont is a capable young boy. He was brought to us by the Raven Queen from a different realm, and he has served us as any minion that you would expect. He latched onto the Raven to Zindred and was faithful throughout. We had many trials and many tests, and yet the boy did everything that was asked of him. In the end,
Why?
all the stones were freed, and all the champions chose to break Silk free. What I saw from then was the goddess Silk brought before us, the Raven Queen by her side, and I saw the Raven Queen slit the throat of Hermes, of the old gods. And then Zindred said that we were bringing upon a war that she did not want to see happen. She had no problem helping the Silk out, but she did not want the other old gods to be attacked. Silk had another pantheon of other deities with her. We're not sure what or who. There wasn't little investigation on that. But there was definitely going to be a clash. That's what those two said, Silk and the Raven Queen. And then everyone discussed where they needed to be. There was something of Zindred going to St. Augustine to find out if Zeus would take the slight and not fight at all. I don't know why Zindred did it. I wanted to go with them, but the two of them commanded me to bring Veh'mont back. The rest of the heroes went to the Garden of Gaia. Another went to seek some priestess to redeem himself, and the others are going into Greenwood to fight the undead being raised by a lich. They're all over the place. But Veh'mont, of all of them, was willing to come back here knowing that Lloth was going to retaliate. He was willing to fight again for Zindred, for this family. So do I trust him? Absolutely. Do I think he's faithful? Absolutely. There's not many, I believe, that would go above and beyond anything else. But this young lad, he will do everything we need him to do. So, the matron mother goes, my granddaughter is going to meet Zeus and stop the war. How is she doing that? Laura goes, I have no idea. The Raven Queen is getting more powerful, though, I will tell you, matron mother. She brought back 5 heroes from this realm to life. They were great warriors, great capable champions back in their time. One of them, an elf, a surface elf, is going with her to find a way to make peace. All I can tell you, matron mother, is that Silk and the Raven Queen are now powers, true deities in our realm of Spero. The matron mother goes, excellent. That will be a boon to us, as the other matron mothers plan. Titurian, my son. Ubin, your brother, will be responsible for the defenses of this house. But I need you to see if there are other allies, now knowing that the Silk and the Raven Queen are in power. If we can bring other houses, we will have allies. Otherwise, we will be besieged. We must dismantle these other houses as any way possible.
I will say that one name comes to mind. Moltor of House Byneria was a close friend of mine in the academy. I believe that he and those within his house would be willing to aid us.
Well, that is something we need to exploit. Remember, son, Silk is the goddess of magic. Dark magic is her true power. That is something to entice all men that follow your way of sorcery and other arcane. I do wish things to remain as they have with us priestesses. We've always been the heart and the control of our society. But if we need to make change, we need to make change. You need to seek those out. This Veh'mont, he has allure and cunning. You will need to talk to him and work with him to find out what he could do in our world, our city. I am going to have him protected. I have asked your brother to put a personal guard around him. That way he will be watched, and he will be protected if he is indeed as important to the Raven Queen. Daughter, Alar, I task you to find out how much the Raven Queen has blessed this one. We must know if it is important to hold his favor or not. And then we will continue to figure out how we are going to defend the city. Defend ourselves from the others in the city. And if we need to find other allies. Do you two understand?
Yes, Mother.
Failure is not an option, children. Failure is our death. This must be all, every part of your energy and passion. For if we fail, all of us fail, and all of us die. As we leave that, Ubin enters the room, Veh'mont. He is a very chiseled dark elf. Long swords strapped to his back, exquisite blades of dark elf make. He definitely looks capable as a very, very capable warrior, a swordsman of high confidence and degree. Andy, what does Narfu look like? Because this is what's following Ubin.
Also rather chiseled, but there's been some wear and tear. You can tell that I've spent most of my adult life in servitude.
Okay. There are also two very also large orcs about they're orcs. They're about 6'8" in size. They're also very bulky. So three of them that you see Veh'mont in tow with the dark elf. This dark elf walks up to you. It's probably about less than like 6 inches away from you, Veh'mont, as he looks into you. He very purposely starts at your eyes, looks all the way down to your feet, and looks up at you, definitely studying every aspect of you. You have been with
Can I help you?
You have been with my niece, Zindred. Is she well?
She was the last time I saw her.
And you traveled with her new companions, those that came here and left.
Yes.
The Warforge, HK, he is well.
Yeah. He actually got like an overhaul. He looks different.
He's changed.
He has.
I see.
It seems weird for a robot, right? Like a mechanical thing?
Yeah, I've never heard. You're here to serve the house?
I am on Zindred's behalf.
I am Ubin. They call me Shade. I am the first son to the matron mother Histius. I am its weapon master.
Did you train Zindred?
I did. And many of these obsidian ravens.
Oh, that's amazing. Because Zindred is phenomenal in combat.
Good. Good to hear. You are important to the matron mother, in some regard it seems. So she has asked me to make sure you are protected. This is Narfu. I give you one of our slave leaders to the army. Narfu,
Yeah, look like an elf.
he is a slave. He is of the people that we have conquered. He now serves the first house. It is his duty to protect it with his life. He is a good warrior. Of his people, he has made himself quite renowned. Until
Wait, he's not here 'cause he wants to be here?
his options, it does not matter what he wants. He is here because the matron
Well, that
mother
doesn't
wants
seem right.
it. Are you not drow yourself?
I mean, I'm from a lower house. We didn't have slaves.
Most drows have slaves.
Oh, he didn't.
Another deception check, Jeremy. Three.
Oh, actually, no. I'm gonna make it a success.
Okay, cool. That's very wise. This is not a guy to piss off. He goes. All right. He goes. You're really.
Wait, I'm sorry. You can just do that?
He has abilities. He's,
Okay. All right, fair enough.
there's something very special with him. We're all working on it together as a group. As Jeremy continues to lie to us.
Sorry, go ahead.
Ubin goes. Odd, but very well. Regardless for this situation, you are not in a poor house, Veh'mont. You're in the highest house, the first house. This slave will serve you. Nobody else cares about his feelings, about what he wants is. To keep him alive, he will serve the first house and the matron mother's wishes, and our wishes. And at the moment, he will actually do your wishes. But do not let him go, for it will be dishonorable to him, and it will mean his death. To keep him alive, he will serve you. Is that clear?
I think I understand.
Good. He's also, him and the other two, will stay with you at all times. You are not to dismiss them. They're not to leave you. They are nobodies. It does not matter the conversations you have, or the other people in the room that you need to. As slaves, they know nothing and need to do nothing. Is that understood?
So, Narfu is the leader of your slaves.
Yes.
Okay. So you two over there, you're like looking up to him.
They just kind of grunt.
They are my two best.
Cool. Alright. So how about you two? Can you bring tea for me and Narfu?
Yes, master.
Oh, you want the other two?
Not you, Narfu.
They nod and go. They'll go wander off for a bit.
Awesome. Narfu, have a seat. Take a load off.
Good.
If you insist.
I'm glad you're enjoying him. I will leave you now. I have other things to attend to. I will return when needed. And Ubin leaves.
Whew, that guy's got a stick up his butt, huh?
I would never say so to his face.
So how's it been as a slave, I guess?
As you can imagine, I wake up, I do slave things, I go to sleep.
Okay, and how do you get through that? You just treat it like it's a normal day? Like you're just working?
It is our way of life.
And is it because you're green? Or what? Actually, what color is Naru?
Green, I presume.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it because you're green?
I think that has very little to do with it, if I'm honest.
Okay. Is it because you got big teeth?
If I'm being frank, our drow overlords don't typically ask this many questions of their slaves.
Well, I don't really believe in the slave thing. That's a, that's a first house thing. But I'm not a first house person, so.
Then you are truly unique, sir.
Where are those guys with the tea? Can't take that long.
Well, I don't really know how the stove works. They could be, need to replace the gas tank. I don't know. They're not the brightest, but they're good warriors.
Have they ever made tea before? Did I send them on an impossible task?
Pretty
to be
hard.
honest, you might.
Alright. Well, I mean, I guess that's my fault for sending warriors to make tea.
as time goes, right here, as you figure that, Ubin will go by you two, Taitori and Olar. He will go, Taitori and Olar, I have given bodyguards, as Mother has insisted, to the very talkative guest.
I will just nod and say, thank you, brother. And I will ask him, how are you? What's up, bro? How you doing?
I am now busy protecting our house, Tatarian. Maybe you could be useful and put a silent spell in that guest of ours.
Yes, brother.
Alar, do you need anything of me? You're muted.
Not at this time.
Very well. If you need of me, ask. I will be around. What would you two like to do as Ubin leaves you? You guys are now outside of the court chambers of your mother. You two are free to kind of choose your own direction at this moment. Or seek of anyone out that you wish to amongst the family.
I'm not exactly sure what Alar has in mind, but I'm still not. I guess I would like to talk to Veh'mont some more and get an idea personally of like specifically what his goals are, or like how he can help further our cause or defend our house. Personally, that I guess that's what I would want to do. I'm not sure what you have in mind though.
Would our eldest sister Creedery?
Mm-hmm.
Is she in the house?
She would be, but a lot of your older sisters are really, like, along with, like, your brother, they're really heavily occupied. Your cousin might be a little bit more free. Alune, she might be a little bit more helpful, being more free, because a lot of those extra little duties are being done to you younger members of the family.
And is Alune Zindred's sister?
Yes.
Or she?
Yep, Kadoya's second daughter. If you remember, just to help along, also another possible help is, remember Laura said Nashimi went with the band but came back. So she's your niece from Magakobaria, who went and worked with Zindred for a little while, then came back. So she might know a couple other people that maybe Veh'mont is a little bit more aware of, or you want to cross credibility with.
Yeah, I would like to talk to her.
Okay. You will find Nashimi. Nashimi is very thin for your type, your species, but she's she's pretty, very well elegant. She likes to be very regal. Nashimi is very prim of all of you Cinabilia ladies. So, like, she does not like to do like heavy lifting or work or anything like that. She definitely likes to be pampered. So, being back, she has enjoyed having slaves about to do little minor duties and stuff like that. But she will come up and go, greetings. Greetings, aunt.
Greetings, cousin. Cousin? Aunt?
Aunt. Oh, niece for you. You're her aunt, yeah.
Okay. Have you met the stranger that's among us?
I have not.
His name is Veh'mont? Am I saying that right?
Veh'mont, yep.
Yep.
His name is Veh'mont, and he claims to know Zindred. He appeared with Laura.
Now I gotta go back to my own history there, Jeremy. I think she knows you a little bit, right? You showed up as soon as she was leaving. Greenwood,
Yeah.
if I'm correct.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's what I've heard.
She will say that name. I remember a young boy, coming into things, but I don't know much of him. Not at the time. I left when he was arriving.
Do you remember your first impressions of him?
Annoying. He was
Fair.
he was very curious, desperate to make a connection.
Did he seem to have the blessing of the Raven Queen when you met him?
He was definitely a servant of it, but no, Zindred was more powerful to that. Zindred was our Raven Queen, the light of the Raven Queen, when I was about her for most of the time. Did he pick up something that might be more into that?
He gives off a presence of the Raven Queen that is uncommon, specifically in a man. Male? No.
Auntie, do you know what Zindred was doing when she left?
I do not.
So here's a little history story. Zindred was tasked to help Silk be free. Apparently, she was captured by the old gods Hades, and this band of heroes was sent to free her. We lured them here through what the heroes thought was gates to open, but we had allies that were trying to turn the table on Hades. And when we were able to explain it, apparently these champions were fated enough that the goddess knew them, or wished of them, and lured them into the cause. So they went about and collected these power stones that Hades had used to trap the goddess Silk. The sins of her, the 7 sins that you know of, the way people, immortals, are about. However, as they took those stones, they became more of those sins themselves. So he could have something to that. But as far as I know, and if this has exactly happened as the matron mother has said, then these essences were very powerful parts of the goddess herself. So mayhap he has something that is similar to those 7 stones in him.
Thank you, niece.
Of course. I will say, Auntie, this band has a lot of forces that are interested in them. I know Silk and the Raven Queen, our goddesses, have put a lot into them, but I remember they were touched by Fae. They were sought by many others. I remember, I believe, even devilish implications attached to some of them. There are many great powers that found his friends that want to do more with the events that are happening. He may be aware of it or not. He is, after all, very young. But I'm pretty young, too.
Do you have any thoughts as to why Zindred would send a stranger to us and not herself, as family is foremost to us?
When Zindred left here, she became very rational to the people around her. I was impressed that she trusted these non-drow. She really had a befriendingship with them. I must say, even they looked up to her. Her natural leadership, which the Raven Queen coveted, was not unfounded. Even the big Irony Warforged thing, respected her. I was impressed. The Fey Touch wizard followed suit. So, in some aspects, they must be those same loyal friends that she coveted, she was able to make. Zindred was definitely a champion to our house. She has made great strides on the surface world for us. I believe even I was contacted a bit that I even might be able to make a temple to in the city of her town of her friend, that Warforge.
Temple.
Yes. So despite what happens here, the goddess Silk has options to still grant her favor to those that will follow her faith.
Thank you, niece.
Of course.
I don't think I have anything else to ask.
Sure. Do you guys wish to go, both of you go back to Veh'mont?
I was gonna say, does my brother have any questions for her?
Oh, I didn't go with you during that.
Oh,
No worries.
apologies. I thought we were there together.
No. I went to go talk to Veh'mont, and you went to go talk to her.
Okay.
So yeah.
Well, we'll let you.
Which is fine. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Jared, we'll let you come in first to. You see Veh'mont, and he has three. He has one orc guard right now.
So before Jared comes in, I'm gonna look at Narfu and I'm gonna let the sky self drop.
Oh.
And Narfu will be able to see what I actually look like.
Okay. Do I personally message him?
And then I'm going to recast it,
Okay.
knowing that Drow will come back.
Okay. So go ahead and give him a personal message if you want, and he'll have the secret.
The plot thickens.
All right, Titurian, you have arrived to see Veh'mont with some big orc.
So I'm gonna walk in, and they're both sitting at a table, like across from each other.
Yep.
Is that what's happening right now? Okay. Is the tea here yet?
No, there's only one orc. Sorry. You
I
said
don't know which partner is the favorite.
Just as a point of clarification for my character, like, what is... I know that we're sort of in the process of shifting, like, throughout society, but what is Tytorian's... do I still sort of have that... Do I treat slaves as slaves, basically? Or do I also sort of not believe in that? Is it...
that's completely up to you. You know if things are shifting.
Perfect.
I mean, right now, like more or less, or recently, this was the status quo. Like how Ubin treated Narfu is exactly how that is the norm. However, you wish to guide, like I said, Veh'mont is coming here to definitely add chaos to the system to help unravel things. That is up to you guys to change how important Andy gets to express himself.
I will walk in and see the two of them sitting at the table, and I will just pull up a chair and sit with them.
Okay.
And I'll just look at Veh'mont and I'll say, so my mother has assigned a personal guard to you, I see.
She did seem it necessary.
My sister is quite keen, and Laura also had a tale to tell of her own. She says that you are touched by the Raven Queen.
Well, yeah, I mean, that was kind of the thing that drew me to Zindred.
And may I ask specifically, what is your relationship to my niece?
follower, underling, supporter?
Well,
If I was older, I might be her equal, but I kind of doubt it. She's pretty amazing.
I definitely thought you were going to go in a different direction there.
I almost did too.
I'm sorry. My mind. Well, I trust Sindred implicitly, as most individuals here do. So, in what way do you think that you can help our cause in overthrowing Lloth and changing our society?
Well, I think my combat prowess speaks for itself, and I'm relatively good at getting into places that people normally can't get into. I can gather information, and I don't know. You come up with something that you want me to do, and I'll tell you if I can do it.
How familiar are you with House Quintheria?
Not very. Zindred never spoke of the other houses, really.
Oh, okay. Well, House Quintheria currently is one of our more prominent rivals in this struggle.
Where are they located? Because I'm from the Middle East, so.
I'm sorry, Benny. Where is House Quintheria located? I have it on my sheet. I don't know which.
Okay, yeah, let's we can look around here. So, number
From the Middle East.
3. So, oops. All right, so let me check. I'm looking at everything. So this up here. So finding my black arrow. This is where you guys are. This is House Zindred.
We're number 3.
You're number 3.
I thought we were number 1.
You are the first house, but number 3 is the guide on the city. There's a couple other things. So Quintheria, the second house, is over here, so right east of you. That's number 4.
And I'm sorry, just out of character. Unless there are things that have changed that I'm not aware of. Like they are still one of our biggest rivals.
Yeah, it'll go exactly in order. So, Lloth, the Spider Queen, sets the favor by first house, second house, third house, fourth house, exactly like that. So
and because we've seceded from that following of Lloth, they would be second in line.
Yes.
To
Now
become like
yeah, and if you look, there are 8 houses that are actually listed as in order of 8. So there's 8 very important houses, much like 8 legs of a spider. So 8 power houses hold sway in the city. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all the ones that are circled around here are all where the 10 houses, the 8 houses are dominant. There are other houses that do not have any ranking at all. They are just called the lower houses.
Which ranking would house? I'm sorry, I'm reading.
Nope, that's fine.
Which house would House Fineria be ranked in?
So
Would they be in one of those?
Yeah, they are believed from what I gave to you. Let me see. I'm sure I'm looking at. Binaria is the 4th house in rank.
Okay.
Yeah, and they are They are right here on this side here.
So I guess essentially what I would like to set in motion personally is I'm not sure if Veh'mont, based on what I know about him, which is basically nothing at all, I'm not sure if he's skilled in the arts of subterfuge or stealth or anything, but I would like as much information as possible on the loyalties and intents and plans of House Quintheria, So the number 4 over here.
So the second
And
house, yep.
The second house, correct. And I would like to also try to ally ourselves with House Byneria, only because I have a previous friend from the academy who is in a high standing in that house. So maybe that is a house that we could potentially bring to our cause and become allies with.
Okay. A couple other big notes to you that'll be important. So right here is the Great House of the Spider.
Mm-hmm.
That is Lloth's huge power base. That is where more priestesses, high priestesses will be trained to serve.
Okay.
This covered in green fog is where you normally reside, Titorian, the Tower of Sorcery.
Got it.
So that is where male mages typically, especially of the higher houses, will be sent. And many of you stay there because remember, you're not favored. You're a male. You're not favored by the matron mother, or even by Lloth. Yeah. Males are treated very poorly. Women rule. That's the way it goes. So hanging here keeps all that bullshit out of your way, and you're able to do a lot of your own stuff.
Okay, is that a place that I could realistically expect to have a conversation with Moltor from House Byneria?
Yes.
Okay.
Also,
okay, then maybe that's something that I will take care of on my own terms.
Yep. Also, bring in even like if there's some type of spell casting, any of the males, whatever. That's a pretty safe refuge for you and other men to be like, hey, let's talk. Maybe more open air wise. There's a lot of magic that protects the Tower of Sorcery from the high priestesses. Mm-hmm. Okay. So that is where if you were to go and try to meet him there, which you likely can do. It is very much more cordial. It is more. That is why you have a bit of a rapport with this guy, because you treat each other as sorcerer compatriots in a lot of things, but are forced to help the matron mothers in their ambitions to become the first house.
Sure. Okay. So I think I'll take a backseat to that second part then, and I'll plan on interacting with Moltor on my own terms at the tower, where we would be safe to have a conversation. In the meantime, I will stay with Veh'mont. House Printheria, that is located in the northeastern region. Those guys. They've been a political rival of ours for a long time, and I imagine that then being the second house, that they would take any opportunity to take our place at the first house under Lloth. So, if it's a task you would be up to, I would be very interested to know any and all plans, any individuals of power, any plotting, scheming, any things they have going on, if that's something that you would be willing to investigate.
Yeah, that sounds like something I can do. Although, I'm not sure if I can go with... I mean, I wouldn't want to endanger Narfu and
I will immediately stop him and be like, who is Narfu?
and Grimtooth and Korg. Well,
it is our duty to protect you, and we will die doing so if we need to.
Oh, this is Narfu. And I'll look to my left. So I'm assuming I've never met Narfu before.
You don't remember. I mean, you met a bunch of orcs before. I mean,
yeah,
you could have. Maybe you did.
He's below you.
They're just.
I know, and I'm trying to figure out how much I want to lead into that, because
I know you really want to, Jared.
Do it.
Go ahead. You know what he signed up for.
Well, no, I don't. I feel like Titorian would is the thing. It's just who is Narfu?
I will story-wise for you to faith-wise, Jared. When a male this is why Ubin is the way a lot of him is too, because you as brothers, when you have a chance to boss somebody around as being the noble house, it really is sort of for them rewarding, because normally, like, even a lard could tell Ubin to go fuck off a cliff, and I don't give a shit, because that's the way the women, especially like daughters of the matron mother. So it goes your matron mother, then it goes each of your sisters, and whatever they say goes. Like they were the ruling part of whatever connection with Lloth. So you getting a bunch of these slaves, which are big burly men of their own and all that stuff and things like that, and you're just like, you're gonna do what I say, you're gonna do this, because they know the harsh punishment that can come from the whip of Lloth. Like the torture and aspect of this is brutal.
Yeah, but I also know how, because like a change is clearly among us.
Yes.
Right? And I know how much like just the compassion and the acknowledgement, just the basic acknowledgement from my mother and my sisters that they've been showing me as of recently as this change has been happening, has been like so important to me as an individual.
Well, why don't you give me a history check right now, and then we'll see how this plays.
Sure.
And this may bring you a little bit more, get Andy a little bit more in our conversation stuff.
That is.
Yeah.
That is a natural 1.
Ooh, definitely poor.
It wasn't me this time.
It's a 7 total, but it's a natural 1.
Yeah, give me a insight check as well now.
Okay. That is a natural 2.
Wow, you're rolling
Still
rough.
a 7.
You're rolling. I'm gonna give you a little bit of a bone still though, because just where you are. You are versed enough to know that you're not the only house with slaves. Okay, but you've definitely been a pretty much, as Veh'mont has called everyone so far, of our male Xenovelia family members. You definitely have a stick up your ass, so you don't remember exactly what kind of slaves each of the houses have. You just know they have slaves, and maybe there's something to that.
And in that regard, as going back to what we were saying, as Veh'mont says, well, I don't want to endanger Narfu. I say, who's Narfu? This is Narfu. And I'll look at Narfu, and I'll just look him up and down, and I'll just sort of scoff and be like, he's expendable. Your mission is more important.
Well, can I tell Narfu and them to stay here?
I will.
Remember, Ubin said they had to be with you at all times.
That would be against my objectives, sir.
But do I know that Ubin said that? I wasn't there when Ubin gave those orders.
You don't know the direct orders. You just know that they were assigned.
Then I will put my head down and sort of shake and be like, unfortunately, these guards need to be with you at all times. I suppose that what I'm asking you to do would be quite difficult if you had 3 very burly, roughed up orcs. They're all orcs, right?
Well, right now you only see one. The other 2 were sent away.
But no, I'm sorry.
I said 3 names though.
Yeah.
He said 3 names. Do I know the races of the other? Okay, I'm sorry. I'll just backtrack that. I suppose a mission of stealth and subterfuge would be difficult if you had 3 warriors trailing you. So, I would be willing to make an exception, if only for the hope that this will benefit my house in the long run, and I will be the one to take the blame from my brother in that regard. I want to be clear. I don't care about the lives of Narfu or the other 2 slaves. I just want information, and I want you to get results. And I'll take the lashing or the I'll take the beating from my brother if it comes to it.
Alar, you will arrive at this moment.
What up, sis?
I walk in and I'm very cold to the room because there is an orc in the room.
And he's sitting down.
And he's sitting down, and he did not stand when I walked in.
On your furniture.
On my furniture.
I will
I tell him-
indicate. Oh, I'm sorry. Go
I
ahead.
tell him to stand. I say, "Orc, stand,"
Yes, mistress.
and then I take a seat.
Hey, he was sitting there. We're about that.
Alar, give me a wisdom saving throw, please. So you just need to go to where your saving throws are, the wisdom. All you need is to tap that little box button next to it. I want to give a little drow history lesson here using Kelly. Okay, cool. You, as you basically had said that when you told him to, Narfu to get up, but you called him what he was, you all saw, like, her hand go next to her hip, and Narfu and Titurian, you will know that used to be the snake whip that all High Priestesses of Lloth had. So when they made a command, they would grab this snake whip with actual living snakes on it, lash them out, and that would bite into, and strike and bite into its victim. It is a nasty, horrible, horrible weapon that is favored by the priestesses of the Spider Queen. It is a weapon also of station. Like, it's only the High Priestess that have it. Normal young acolyte priestesses do not have this. It is only the High. And you kind of saw her kind of go for it, but stop, knowing that she isn't that supposedly anymore. But it was definitely in her nature. Just help setting the tone for you guys.
Is it venomous?
Oh yes, it's
Oh, dear.
it's off. That's what got you in line after you were taken. It is that sting from a being, like, as small as these dark elf women are. It is that power of the Spider Queen, and those whips that taught you and every one of your men that it is better to fight and serve for them than to be punished by what they can do.
Well, hot dog.
But remember, rumor among your kind is that they're not following her anymore.
Killer.
I mean, if she wants the chair, I'm still gonna get up and give her the chair.
Yep. Alari gets her way. Alright, the three of you are sitting with Narfu standing. And by that time, two orcs with a small, very small gnome with no hair, you guys know them as Snurfleben, shows up with tea.
Those are like, they're dark gnomes.
Yes, the deep gnomes. They're the deep
The
gnomes.
deep gnomes. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
He's kind of shaking because the orcs definitely did something to get him here, and he quickly puts the 3 cups around for you 3, and then begins to pour very shakily into your containers. And then the other orcs, Narfu will take position in a tri-circle around Veh'mont.
Great job, Grimtooth and Cork. And
Took you long enough.
what's your name? I'm looking at the sword nibbler.
He's looks up, then he looks to Alar.
Alar says, "You have a name?"
You shake to the gnome.
And then I dismiss the gnome.
He's happy. He's gone.
Well, that's not a very good way to show gratitude. He brought tea.
I let him live.
I mean, I guess that's one way. Oh. Yeah.
All right, the 3 of you sit. Veh'mont, you've got a. These seem to be very harsher than the dark elf that you served. This is definitely a very cold environment. Although, lavish in its riches and luxury. Zindred's family seems to be very cold to other beings that you're not quite used to. But you need a plan. How would you guys wish to discuss that?
I would first like to say, I then turn to Tartarian and say, brother, pour my tea.
Wow. Nice. Okay, Kelly. I'm going to give you what is called inspiration for playing very well like a dark elf lady in her society.
God damn it. I cast dominate person on her. No, I'm just kidding. I just puff and sort of look down, and I pour her tea.
Very good.
Oh, while you're at it, could you pour mine too?
Jeremy, I give you inspiration. That is the way to roll. That's the way to role play.
I lean in and give him permission to pour his tea. I say, you may.
Ooh.
I will begrudgingly pour Veh'mont's, and then I will wait for permission to pour my own.
I do not give it.
I will set the tea kettle back down on the table.
Wow, this is a beautiful moment right now. This is why we all play D&D, folks. It's encounters like this. All right. The two of you have nice hot tea.
I pick the tea up and sip it so that he may start drinking his tea.
Okay.
I didn't even realize that was the order that happened. So then I'll pick up my tea and sip it. Well, this is delicious. I think Lady Zindred made tea kind of like this at times too.
It is a sacred family brew. Titarian's favorite.
Oh, well, why is he not drinking?
I do not wish for him to drink yet.
Huh. Okay.
I wait for the tea to cool so it's lukewarm, and then I tell Titarian.
God damn, Kelly. All right.
Who hurt you?
Holy Lord. This is good.
I will say thank you, sister, and I will pour myself some lukewarm, room temperature tea.
Okay.
Well, it's nice for you to join us, Lady Alar. Titarian was just saying that he would like me to infiltrate the second house and see if I can gather intel.
I look at Titarian and say, second house?
Well,
Question mark?
they have been rivals of ours for a long time, and I would like to know where their allegiances lie, and if they do not lie with ours, what plans they have to upseat us and take over our position.
And then I respond, that is not as half-witted as I thought it would be.
Thank you, sister.
He is a mage. Is he not intelligent?
I'm quite charismatic.
All right. It seemed like a pretty good plan. I don't really know which houses want to kill you and which ones don't. So, might as well start at the second one.
All right. Just to help things along too, one of the things I want you guys, will probably be needed. Obviously, there's only the four of you are in this room together. However, you're going against the city, so you're going to need to realize the NPCs around you. So to kind of help for you guys' success, is to discuss who you may need, what you may need to do the jobs that you're kind of figuring out. So you've got those that you want to convert from the Tower of Sorcery. If Alara wants to talk about anyone that she feels, because she also knows people in the city. So you two are high influencers from what you have. Perhaps Narfu may know something if we can get him to talk without you guys treating him as he is. But that's part of the thing. And Veh'mont, of course.
That's unlikely at this point.
Well, yeah, but Veh'mont is our outside the box thing. I say this because
of that snake whip.
yeah, Veh'mont is outside the box thinker. But I also want you to know, because you have your aunts, you have your brother, you have your nieces, you have all you have 12 of the 12 of the 13 Obsidian Ravens, and then you have a bunch of those other people that are amongst the city. Now, like I said before, you have the 8 powerhouses of the Drow Order. There are a number that are in here that I think I gave you a list of that are just regular houses. So if they were to unseat, or you guys have a plan that you wish to present to your matron mother, that may cause unravel to help you get these other houses to join forces, could do things in the city as well. You do know that there's a fighting temple for the men, so they can serve in the armies. That's the Palace of Blades. That is, let me see if I get my thing going up pretty well. I need to find 21. Okay, that is right here. So that little area there is where the fighter, more like the fighter academy, is. You also know this is a city, so Veh'mont, where there's a city, there are even those that don't follow the rules. So there's probably a thieves guild or some sort, and that aspect there. So you have options, and again, you have other NPCs you can continue to contact as you wish. But for you guys, and the plan moving for the next episode will be to try to find out who best NPCs serve you and the tasks that each of you want to do. Obviously, doing them together gives you the best chance for success in most cases, unless you're definitely doing some infiltration. But you definitely are at this moment going against 7 other houses and whatever minor houses that they also grant that they can get on their side.
So that brings up a good point. Minor houses to major houses. Who are the minor houses to this major house?
What are the minor houses to the major houses?
To our major house, specifically the first house.
Yeah, they don't have any rank. Like, any one of them could turn into the 8th house if they were following the normal Lloth rules.
Right. Which as Veh'mont's trying to put together the whole hierarchy thing that they've got going on down here that he's not accustomed to. So, who's the 8th house?
House Gastorini. Ruled by Matron Mother Goria.
You say Gloria or Goria?
Goria, Gorria.
Okay. So, would it not make sense to go in reverse order? Because, from what I'm getting, is that whoever is on top, the next person wants that position. Which would mean to me that House 8 would love to be House 7. So if we started at the bottom and worked our way up, could we not perhaps change the House's alliance from the bottom up?
Change that. I suppose my only concern is that I don't want to create a situation where we sort of kill everyone and we're the only house left standing.
I'm not talking about killing anybody. If we promised House 8 that they could move up.
Oh, I see. I understand. Okay. No, that makes sense. Yeah.
Because
But
just
how would we guarantee that taking over of the position? How would we guarantee them that rank up?
so just from the time I've spent with the few of you that I've spent time with, you're all very I'd rather kill you than befriend you types. And that tells me that if I were a lower house, which I do come from a lower house in the Middle East,
In the Middle East, yeah.
I would love to take over a higher rank house. And the only way to do that is to side with somebody stronger, right?
I could see. Yeah. Okay.
Just for you, Jared and Kelly, it is part of the art of the Drow Society under Lloth that if you were to help, and this is where some of the helping conspiracy goes in, you work with another house or two, you descend on another house, you destroy it completely, you kill every one of the noble house, wipe every one of the bloodline from the face of the city, and then when that happens, that house is considered annihilated. No one can accuse the house that orchestrated that of the murder and the treason of the house. So then all the houses would move up. If you were caught, then by Lloth law, then all the other houses are forced to descend upon the house that is being accused because they have a surviving member of the royal family, and then that house instead would be put to the torch. So there's two ways of a house of these rankings to be destroyed by the people of the city, of the society of Lloth. So that's how that normally would go. There are small reports that there might be a surviving member of the house, but instead of challenging, they would disappear into that underground network of the city and become a free mercenary or something else, whatever, entirely, and no longer have claim to that house anymore. But that is how a house normally would disappear. And Narfu knows, you know, that most of your people are used, like the slaves are used to just like pour through defenses and raise it, while like the weapon master and the high priestess and stuff murder, like the nobles murder the nobles, you guys take out their slaves in the house guard. That's how you've been trained to make that happen. But you can come up with new ways. I'm just letting you know that's the old way so far, or the current way.
I am fully on board for Team Decimate.
And I will say at this moment right now, you're not with Lloth, so no matter what you do right now, it is considered all other houses are trying to destroy you. So you could openly attack, which is a little different than the old way, or the current way. They all know that you don't follow Lloth, so that's why you're assuming that every one of the houses is about to destroy you. Which is why I'm projecting, as you look at these scenarios, that you're trying to find people that would convert. Now, the difficulty of that is you have people that you can convert, but you have to have them convert their matron mother. That is the whole trickery of this. The teasing line I gave you is in your backstories, and especially with Kelly, with Alar. You were convinced to change from your goddess. This is the concept that you need to ride on. Because I'm giving you the key that opens a door that says it can happen. There's a faith that is willing to step in and give the priestesses their power. The Drow are paranoid people. If they feel like they don't have power, they feel that they're going to be murdered behind their, in their beds or whatever. So this whole shift of power, which is done by your first house, could be in the minds of others, but they are afraid to act upon it because Lloth society is, if you betray me, I will betray you, and you'll be destroyed and never exist in my world again. So that's some of the things to kind of role play out and consider amongst the four of you, and NPCs if you wish to bring them in, to decide how you wish to go about it. That is why you have a lot of charts about this. You have the city with the numbers, because those are actual houses there. There are other major mothers listed for Jeremy and them for you to figure out and see who is exploitable. That is what I'm trying to give you guys as the conspiracy element to this RP. I will tell you, just to kind of give you guys and also a sense, the sixth house, House Lin Toreg, most likely will never help you, because Zindred killed the only son of the matron mother there a while ago.
That would be this house here.
The eighth house. Nope, it is. Yeah, that one. You're green. Yep, you're green. So that's the house. So he was a warlock. He challenged Zindred. Zindred struck him down, and he's dead. So she is down to just 2 daughters, no sons. The matron mother there. Unless Veh'mont comes with other theories that could be played out that I have had to test on a number of campaigns.
I mean, it really just sounds to me like we should convert lower houses, because let's be honest, if I was number 2, I'd aim to kill number 1, and I'd probably say whatever number 1 wanted to hear in order to make sure that I could do that.
Well, so if we could, I like the idea of, I would still like to engage in some information gathering and figuring out what's going on with the second house. But in doing that, going along with your train of thought, if we could promise all of the other houses, maybe not number 6 because they don't really like us, but if we could promise all the other houses a rank up, would we not get them in our side if we were to get rid of the second house? Although I suppose then whoever
That kind of
takes...
sounds to me like we need to remove house 6 first.
Yeah.
Okay.
And get the houses below them on our side, and then we can worry about house 2.
Okay.
Which house is house Yintazio?
Probably this one.
Which one are you looking for?
For Batel's house. House
The fifth house? Yep, that is. Yep, that's number 7 now.
The 5th house.
Yes.
7th house.
That's the 7 number, but it's the 5th house. It is, yes, the 5th house. Right down there.
5th house, 7th
Yep.
number.
Number
Okay.
7 on the guide. And I sent you something, Kelly, to think about that isn't commonly thought by other people.
Huh.
If you have any questions about that, you can message me, and I'll go over a little bit more why.
Okay.
But in a way of thinking, just to kind of give it a quick cusp, your elves, just even being dark elves, you're still elves. Elves do not, elves age to a very long time, so very Tolkien, story-wise. You can live for centuries. So change is hard when the same person is always in charge. So this is where things are like different in terms of the normalcy of other people's cities. Dark elves is different to have this type of monopoly and conspiracy going on when it's the same people that are typically in power for centuries, like 200-300 years. Like your mother has been ruling for a very, very long time. You've been the first house for a very long time.
I think I'm going to conduct an experiment. can't tell them because
Oh.
then that would ruin the experiment.
All right. So so you guys you guys know some places. Is there anything you want to ask about these places besides where it was between the two of you, or you want
Not
to elaborate?
particularly. I would, maybe not, probably not this session, but at some point I would like to go back to the tower and see if I can have a conversation
Okay.
with Moltor and just see if we can acquire was that the fourth house, I believe? The fifth house, the house of Bineria.
Yep.
So I would like to do that at some point, but yeah.
Okay.
I get the general sense that Titorian's motives are to sort of cause a shift without as much bloodshed as possible. I want, obviously it's not going to be like Draft Society is what it is. This is not going to be a peaceful thing. Like, there are going to be a lot of people who die, but I would much rather, gather allies and get people over to our side and people that will support us in creating a new society overall, rather than just like, kill everyone and then we'll fix it afterwards type of
Yeah, absolutely.
situation.
We can have you check that out.
So I would like to do that at some point, but yeah.
Okay.
That was really all.
So Alara, what was your plan?
I don't know if I've crafted one yet.
Okay. I'll let you think a little bit, because I know everything's trying to get into the way the house is. So, Jared, let's do that. Let's have you, while the other guys are kind of chilling, you excuse yourself and say that you'll return momentarily, and that will get you to your secret passage or portal to the House of Sorcery.
I finished my lukewarm tea.
Okay. You get to the Tower of Sorcery. Of course, it is well crafted with things. You can find Moltor studying at a spell book.
Okay. I'll just walk up to him and sort of. Is he just sitting down, like at a desk?
No, he's kind of standing, looming over it.
I will. Is he like in a library, or is he just like holding a book kind of out in the open?
No, yeah, library. Like, it is one of your many rooms of libraries that you learn the arcane.
I'll just go up next to him and just like pick a interesting tome off of the shelf and just kind of open it and stand next to him.
Okay, and he goes, "You have a lot of magic stones coming out of your house right now, Titurian."
Magic stones?
Balls, however they want to say it in the streets.
Oh. I thought that's what you were going for. Yes, well, the way of the old, the way of Lloth, is on its way out. And we seek to make a change. I know that this change is going to come at great cost. And fortunately, probably going to cost many lives, but I wish it to cost as minimal as possible. What do you think of the old ways?
This has always been the way, Titurian. You know, we have dealt with the fact that the women of our city rule the way they rule. We have felt their punishing lashes of their whips, their fickle ways, the desires of however they wish to do things. Yet, it has held control here. But you're only one house, and all the houses at this moment are allowed to strike against you. My matron mother already brought me here just to learn ways to unravel your wars, Titurian.
I believe that the way of old is a corrupt and unfairly harsh system. Even though in my house, we are only beginning to change things in the last 50 years or so. I already see a shift in the attitudes and the demeanor of my own matron mother, my sisters.
I can tell too, Titarian, you're already soft. The Titarian I would know would burn those that would oppose his house, and yet you want to save lives? This new goddess of yours, soft?
I only came to you because you and I seem to have a special kindred with each other in the time that we spent at the academy. I know that in our society this can be seen as weakness or be taken advantage of, but I did feel a bit of a special bond. If I misunderstood that, then it is what it is. I do not wish to crush you beneath the boots of the new order, but if it is what must be done, then it will be. I come to offer a pact, an accord, if you will.
Okay, let's say, like we've fancied in our youth learning here, Titarian, how would we change all this? Am I to marry your sister so we could have a pact like the surface world? The matron mothers and the priestesses of Lloth are wicked. There is no high king. There are no princes. How exactly are me and you gonna really change things?
We could establish a new form of government that is ruled by both men and women.
So I can become a prince, Titarian. You would be a prince too? Would you be in line to be king, like the surface people? The humans and the dwarves? That's what you're proposing to our people?
What exactly is so bad about that?
I don't know. I just think all the women who rule under Lloth would really get pissed off about it and like to flay my skin on if I said, I would really like this, Your Holiness. Wouldn't that not work for all of you? They don't care, in my opinion.
You would rather live the rest of your life in fear than stand up and be free? Than live the life that you really want to live? And
I just want to know, Titarian, just like magic, it is a sequence of words in arcane chants that we must take to make that spell happen. How are you going to manipulate all these women who hold position in houses to allow this for me to be able to call you friend and not worry about me being directed to throw a fireball at your face?
Well, let's start here. Why wouldn't you just join my house? What's stopping you?
I don't know, seven other houses ready to kill you? That's what's stopping me right now. That's a lot of matron mothers and a lot of their daughters who are all very powerful, who can bring a lot of wicked spells at us.
You would have protection.
Protection? From what?
We...
What do you have that would stop that? You don't even have your greatest paladin in your halls anymore.
We have potentially an individual more powerful.
What is that? Who is that?
Unfortunately, I can't go into any details because I don't know where your allegiances lie, and I wouldn't want to give you any more information than I have to. All I can say to you is that if this is a way of life that you would like to see come to fruition, if you join me, we will be able to make it happen together. All you need to have is a little bit of faith. Not in Lloth.
I don't want to have faith. Not in Lloth or gods or anything. That's why we chose magic, Titarian. I just want a plan. You know how this works. If I don't see something that would work at a high percentage, the mathematics we have learned, I just think the odds are in the favor for me to throw my fireballs against you.
That is unfortunate. And I'll close my book and I'll just gently pat him on the shoulder, and I'll just walk away.
Okay.
That's it.
As he's done that, the two of you are left with your slaves. Is there anything you wish to discuss, the two of you, to get a little to know each other, maybe, or come up with a plan?
Yeah. Yes, but I don't know what. Or I don't know how to start the conversation. I'm trying to think of how to start the conversation.
No worries. There's a lot going on, Kelly. A lot going on. I know it's very deep. I pre-warned you guys. I was trying to let you know that this is just the beginning of a very hard city. And like many of my other chapters, though, they send one person or someone who's not really a major part of it and go fix it.
Hey, Narfu. So you're my bodyguard now, right? Right. So,
That's my assignment.
So
Your bodyguard, my slave.
Well, technically, your brother said he was my slave. No.
Yeah, but I rank higher than you.
Boys, would you take care of the dishes for our princess and our esteemed guest, please?
Thank you, Orc.
Yep, the two of them go and grab the dishes, take them off the table. You hear one of them go outside. You hear somebody squeal. You're not sure what type of person it was, but apparently they might have gotten the dishes as he comes back in.
I was given this assignment by Master Ubin, who seemed to believe that there was more afoot, but he didn't share many details with me, as I am just a servant.
Well, I mean, let's not call you a servant anymore. Technically, you're my bodyguard now. So we'll call you bodyguard.
As you wish.
I'll allow that.
Yeah, what she said.
What she said.
I am not good with names. Can you remind me of your name, please? That's me asking Kelly. Sorry.
My name's Veh'mont.
Veh'mont. So I look at Veh'mont now that it's just the three of us because there's less people in the room, and I ask him what he knows of the Power Stones.
Power Stones. I don't think those exist anymore. I think after we freed Silk, I think they may have gone away.
What do you mean they have gone away? They just
So-
evaporated?
Well, no. My understanding was that we had to gather the stones and their power in order to free Silk, and in return, she blessed those of us that were willing to receive her blessing.
With a stone?
No, with the blessing.
What kind of blessing did she give you?
I guess you consider it some type of godly power, I suppose?
Some kind of godly power, or is it a specific power that relates to the different seven sins or power stones?
No, I think it's just godly power, because I don't have any of the seven sin stones. I worked with those who did use them. I tried to kill one of them.
Tried to kill one of them?
Yeah, it didn't go so well. His whole demonic armor thing was really a hindrance. Yeah, it was rough. But in the end, he was still an ally, despite being manipulated. But no, I don't believe that the stones exist in the way that you're thinking anymore.
Do you
At
know
least
what
I don't
happened to
have
them
one.
exactly? Okay.
I don't, and I'm not sure I can contact any of the bearers of them to see if they do still have them.
Was Zindrid one of those bearers?
Never. No. She refused.
And is this how you fell into the blessing of the Raven Queen?
Yes.
What did you do for the Raven Queen that convinced her to give you a blessing? Specifically.
Well, I was there alongside Zindrid for everything that happened at the end. I mean, I wasn't along for her whole journey, but for the freeing of Silk, I was there.
What did you do in that freeing?
Killed people.
Nice.
Thank you, Narku.
I throw dagger eyes at Narfu.
I mean, that was really why I was there. I'm good at killing people. And things, creatures. I guess it really doesn't matter.
Looking into things, I want to kind of help Kelly out because I know she's new to this. I just figured that I helped you rebuild some spells, and because you're filthy rich, you won't have any problem with any components.
Okay.
You have a spell called Legend Lore. So if there's something
Called what?
it's called Legend Lore. It
Legend
will
Lore?
allow you to basically know the fable on something or somebody, something or someone. So you can just cast it, and I will basically recite information to what you're asking for. It costs you, I think, a spell slot to do it, and it might be what you need to prepare or memorize. It is a 5th level spell. Yeah, so you have 2 of them. So pretty much 2 of these spells that you could cast on a major subject per long rest. So if you,
Is it under my spells? I apologize.
yeah, I maybe see if I can load them up because I have to. I'll refresh you a bit. The good thing about being the dungeon master. So when you go to spells, if you go to 5th, you just scroll down. It'll be in your 5th level spells.
I don't see it. What's it called?
Legend Lore. You have it at 5th level. I have you seen, just to help you out. So if you do cast it, I can give you insight on a subject or person if you wanted to.
I don't have it lit. Like I
Yeah.
don't have that option.
Well, you might have to back out and go back in. And
Oh,
it
okay.
It might refresh your information load because I had to alter for you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it's right now just doing what it was normally under. But what it is a spell that basically gives you information.
There it is.
Yep. As you can quickly read it, it gives you it's a spell that will give you information on things, very quickly instead of doing it the hard PI investigation way. So
Okay.
it's an easy little thing like that. But it's definitely only 2 of those per a long rest that you take. So you might want to be a little careful to make sure you're making the call on something very important. But you could, in theory, I would allow you to cast it and ask about Veh'mont if you want to do it in his presence or out of his presence and get more information on him.
I think I would like to cast it
Okay.
and ask him directly.
What would you ask of the legend lore spell?
Like, how am I casting it?
You basically got to state what you want to know.
Oh.
Do you want to know about him, or do you want to know about a situation, like a place, or things like that? Because it says name or describe a person, place, or object. The spell will bring to mind a brief summary of the significant lore about the thing that you name. So like I said, it's going to help you get more information that you're looking for. You could do it on other people in the city. You can do it on Zindred. Like what is going, maybe a little bit of where she's evolved. You can get it more about the gods. Anything that you think would be relevant to helping you figure out what you might want to plan. This legend lore is a potent spell that will help you get ideas and information on without really any obstruction.
I want to know more about Veh'mont.
Okay. So the spell will let you know that he is definitely not a dark elf. He is of a race of elves from the Shadowfell, a place that is where your Raven Queen calls home. He is an elf of her realm, so he's actually more attuned to her. That must be some part of what you've significantly found. Is why he is special to her. He is called Shadowkai elf. He is also a it would be considered a servant to those that freed the Raven Queen. He is a follower of the Raven Queen, but definitely not anything to do with a religious aspect. Definitely a devotee is the more accurate term of that. However, in this time of his service to the Raven Queen and to this party of heroes to Silk, he gained favor to her. And in that regard, he is now one of the few beings on Spero that are called Titans. And the Titan mantle is something that he is part godlike now. His divinity is now touched of that of the gods themselves. And it is said in your mind that this divinity is part of the new pantheon. So the new gods that have appeared in Spero. But all you know of is Silk, the Raven Queen, and what you would assume is Tiamat. And that is what the first legend lore spell will tell you. Veh'mont, you would have seen Alar make an arcane enchantment. Obviously, you're aware of you understand that, and she looks like she saw visions, like you see space and time, all that go through her eyes. And she definitely was doing some type of divinitation spell before you.
So the spell that she cast does not look dangerous to me at the moment.
No, you were not threatened. They say it was you know the school, like divination.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's fair. I am part wizard. Nobody knows that. So, are you done with your voodoo?
Voodoo? Ain't no voodoo in Spero.
divine what you were trying to divine?
I did. And it explains quite a bit.
Is there anything you have questions left about?
Not right now.
Great.
I then turn to Narfu and ask, I turn to the orc, and I gesture to Narfu and ask him his name.
Narfu, Your Highness.
I then ask him if he likes living under our house.
It doesn't much
Not
matter,
likes.
does it, my princess?
I ask who he was. I ask him where he was before he was of our house.
I once fought bravely under my father's banners with Clan Deathstone, and we fought many wars, conquered many, and then eventually there came a war that we lost. And now here we are.
Thank you.
Of course, Your Highness.
Are you feeling okay? Did you curse yourself or something? You're acting not the same.
Who, me?
No, I'm just.
No, not you, Narfu. You're acting like Narfu. Lady Alar is, she just asked you your name. Are you not baffled by this?
I would check her for a fever, but I feel like the only one that could do that would be her mother.
Please
Yeah,
don't touch me.
yeah, we don't want you dying today.
I'm not worried about dying. I'm worried about, not dying to that damn snake ring.
If you touched her, I'd be concerned that she might kill you.
Well, yeah.
As would I.
Yeah, maybe I won't do that. I think someone ought to check her for a fever, though.
I am fine.
If you insist,
Must
Your
have been
Highness.
the tea. Am I gonna start having delusions?
Possibly.
Those two idiots.
Those two idiots?
Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. I'm sure they just set the burner too high.
The other ones.
He's talking about Grimtooth Pork. They probably spiked the tea or something.
Grimtooth and Pork.
Yeah, that's what the other
They are.
were named.
Ah. So
My two
you all
buddies.
have names.
Not to sound facetious, but do you think we were all called Thing 1 and Thing 2?
No, I thought you all went by Orc.
Fair enough. I could understand that discrepancy.
I should ask you, since you are clearly a bit higher than your brother Titurian in your hierarchy here,
Yes.
what do you think of the plan to gather intel on the second house? Do you think that that is a good plan, or do you think that gathering intel on a different house would be better?
I don't think it's a bad plan, but I don't think it's the best plan. I think that we have known enemies within the 6th house. And I would rather see them fall than the 2nd house.
Should I gather intel on them?
If you're able to.
I think I can do that. Well, maybe. I don't know how the orcs are gonna do with the whole sneaking in and out thing.
Narfu, how sneaky are you?
Don't give
Like
many.
if I put you in a room with a bunch of glass cups.
Don't give many
Am I gonna
clothes.
come
You
back?
might be able to work something out. No armor.
I'm quieter than I look.
Kelly, I want to add one more thing for Olar, because this is more dynamics for you to play out with others. Your mother doesn't quite know what Veh'mont is. Remember, you're the only one now has legend lore. When I told you he is a titan of the gods, that is kind of like if you understand like the old mythology. So, you might want to rank him more with more different type of bodyguards. Like he is an absolute asset. Like if the legend lore is correct, which you've cast and you believe it is so, Veh'mont right now is the most powerful weapon in the room.
Yes.
Which is something that makes him, if you're sending him out to sneak into places, means that he's potentially a target once people find out what he really is. So, in your sense, he is a power base for you, which he can do quite a bit of things. Like, lock him in a room is obviously not the way to go. He needs to be used. But you may want, this is why I'm thinking about the people around you, because if he has the right people around him, he can do what he needs to do, but also be protected. And that is part of where your knowing the family and stuff may be important. But he may be, in also the same essence, need to be more protected than using just 3 orcs. Because if the other houses do wear that, they might want to go more. And you have the obsidian ravens to use.
Yes. I call for Xanath.
Okay. How would you like to do that? So you have a spell called Sending. If you check that out, you can do some little tricks.
Pretty cool tricks.
Pretty cool tricks. Let's see where the first time you... So it is in your...
Sending?
Yep, that is in your 3rd level. Can you see what that does?
Yes. I want to send Xanath a message.
Okay, what would you like to send to him?
I would like to say sorry.
It's okay. Trust me, the professional Laura Bailey who does this on Critical Role fumbles through this spell on a constant basis, session to session.
Oh, that makes me feel
So,
bad. Yeah, I think I've seen that actually.
yeah.
You shall now be assigned to Veh'mont. His life is precious, and we need him. Make sure he is safe. Do not question.
Very good. If that is what my lady wishes, I shall protect him. And it sounded like that, Tony. He was not very happy about it.
I say thanks. Can I do that?
You'd have to cast another spell, which isn't worth it.
No, I don't want to do that.
If I may. Well, Narfu is great. He's been an interesting person to talk to.
Thank you, sir.
And Grimtooth and Quark, I mean, they brought tea, so that's cool. They have that going for them. It would be awesome, I think, if Laura could come with me for the recon.
What does that have to do with Narfu and the others?
Well, I'm not sure that they are the right types for this type of mission.
Alar, you know that because you're with the Raven Queen, and these are all Raven Queen paladins. Although all 13 of the Obsidian Ravens are paladins, there's another class that they were before they chose that order, chose that class. So they are what they call multi-class. So they're two classes. Laura, you're pretty sure, is known amongst your group, was a rogue. So she has the tendency to hide in the shadows quite a bit, and amongst your people, she is known to have murdered and assassinated a number of other dark elves who have opposed your house. Maybe not nobles, but she's killed like captain of the guards, upcoming acolytes to houses that have used as war mages, stuff like that. She's one of the people that have been sent by your mother to go kill them. It is also one of the reasons why most of your Obsidian Ravens don't like her, because she is very lone type. She often doesn't talk much. That presentation she gave you was the most you've ever heard from her talk. And most people feel uncomfortable around her, and that's Dark Elves. Dark Elves don't like hanging around her, because she freaks them out.
Okay.
But he's asking for her, which, to you, as an insight, nobody asked for her. Nobody. That's like...
What is your connection with Laura?
We killed people together.
Killed people together.
Yeah. I mean, that's not... If there's a bond in this world, I think that's one of the best ones.
That is fair. That is a good bond to have. I look at the three orcs, and I ask which is most loyal to my house of the three of them.
Each of them, the other two immediately say, I am.
Narfu, you
I don't
did not
believe you.
respond.
Okay, calm down. I'm the one in charge here, so if anyone's going to undertake some sort of secret mission, it's going to be me.
He looks like he intimidates the other two, though. Like, they wanted to bolster up, but as soon as Narfu says that, they kind of like he would do something back to them, which you'd be accustomed to.
Laura may go with you, but Narfu must go as well.
Okay, but I don't have to take all three of them, right?
No, not all three, just Narfu.
Zamoth shows up as well now. I am here, my lady.
And Zamoth.
And me what?
How good are you on infiltration, Zamoth?
I am terrible. I know the faith and the religions. What is going on here? Alara just told me that I must protect you for some reason.
Yeah, but you're gonna be bad at it.
No, I am very much one with the Raven Queen. I know her ways. I have studied her. I have felt her energies. I know the wings that she wishes to go about. That is how I bring the greatness of the Obsidian Ravens and the Raven Queen and my High Priestess of her.
I'm gonna walk past him out of the room while he's talking.
They always do this. No one listens to the great words of the Raven Queen. It is why we are suffering the way we suffer. My lady, what am I supposed to do with that? Please, pick another obsidian raven. Don't make me do this.
I don't remember who the other obsidian ravens are.
Oh, well, let's make Narlula do it. Zindred would love to have Narlula be forced to take care of him. I guarantee it. But if you're looking for probably the two best, Jerez and Laura are known to more or less move about them. And I would definitely not put Tathlock with him at all. She would abuse him. I'm sure of it.
Well, we don't want that.
Not from what you've now told me.
But you would trust Laura?
Well, they have some type of bond. She's really good when you make her do something. I just don't know if it's healthy for the young man, but they've been together somehow. I just don't know. She seems to be, there's something there. And if Zindred made her do it, then there's a good chance that she will keep him alive. She's the best at it. I trust Jerez more. That is who I trust, with a much more reasonable head. She learned to protect Nashimi during their times out. She was very dedicated to that.
Then Jerez shall go with them as well.
Good. But not me.
No, not you. You can stay right here with me.
Okay. But if you want the best of us, it is definitely, without Zindred, Narulu is who is second in command.
Yeah, but she doesn't like Zindred. And Zindred's my niece, and I don't like that.
Which is why usually Zindred wouldn't mind if she got killed.
Oh. But can we trust her?
Yes, but if you want to make good relationship with the boy, then you probably don't want her.
Okay, then no, I don't want her to do it.
Okay, my lady, I'm just... You know...
You're doing great. Thank you.
Well, you don't normally put me in this type of position. You just usually boss us around to do something. So, this is a little different.
This is true. But possibly servants need kindness as well.
Well, I am a follower of the Raven Queen, and this path that we have all chosen, I am willing to serve. And I am very honored and proud to be a part of the Obsidian Ravens.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Do you need anything else?
I do not. And then I stand up to leave and follow Veh'mont out.
Okay.
And I say, Narfu, you may come.
Well, the other two guys are showing up, following too.
What's up?
The other two are,
Sorry.
yeah, the other two are following you, Narfu, to follow.
I am going to discreetly whisper to them, once we take off, I need you guys to very discreetly make sure everybody is ready for conflict, because I feel like it's inevitable.
Narfu, what does this the Crete thing mean?
It means just, whisper. Don't tell anyone that Ark works.
I
Brothers.
know newsy talk, so I think I'm okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you'll be fine.
Okay, boss. We're here.
Yeah.
We killed bad dark elves.
Not yet, but soon.
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 Tatura and you will return. I assume that you guys are now in a chamber preparing. The other group.
So I return after that whole conversation and
Yes.
sort of getting ready.
Yes. So you.
Okay, so I'll walk back in and just say, Moltor was a dead end. I do not believe that House Byneria will aid us. What have you all been discussing while I've been gone? What's the plan?
That's to you guys.
Wait, where did you walk into?
To you guys. You guys were walked out to another room. Titarian has come back. He said
Got it.
he's telling you it's a dead end on his part.
Okay. So, I think the first plan, based on what Lady LR and I have discussed, is while gathering information on the second house does make sense and does need to happen, I think we're going to target the sixth house first, because it sounds like you already have enemies there, and it's good to know what they're planning first. Because if anyone is going to gather up the houses against you, sounds like that would be the one.
Sure. Okay. Is this a mission that you're taking on alone? I'll say to Veh'mont.
I believe Lady Alara has assigned Miss Laura to my side, and also maybe somebody else, and also Narfu will be joining.
I go too.
Very good. Do you need any extra assistance, or do you feel confident with the current arrangement of things?
Do you have any spells that can make a bull silent in a china shop?
I have spells that can make myself invisible for, quite a while. But no, nothing. I can cast some illusions, and but no, most of my arcane arts are in the realm of holding enemies in place and keeping them in place while my allies do the dirty work.
I think if you look at your invisibility spell, Jared, you might be able to upcast it for you and another.
If I had more
So
spell slots, I could probably upcast it, but I'm not that powerful a caster.
So I have invisibility. I also have greater invisibility, but greater invisibility only lasts for a minute, whereas invisibility lasts for an hour.
Yeah.
But I think the caveat to greater invisibility is you can take actions while invisible and it doesn't break it.
Right.
But it only lasts for a minute.
But I think if you upcast invisibility, you can choose others. Is that
correct?
Yeah. So that gives you an option.
Let me double check, but I'm like 90% sure that you are right.
So that
At
might
higher
help us.
levels, when you cast a spell, third level higher, you can target an additional creature for each spell slot above second. So technically, because I have 5th level spell slots, I could do one. I could do myself, 2, 3, 4. I could do myself and 3 other people.
There you go.
So
Have you ever gone on a recon mission where you needed to be not seen?
Yes, he has.
okay, I'm glad you answered that because I was going to say no.
You actually, as the male sorcerer, you get a lot of those, even more than Ubi.
Okay.
Because you know what?
I am quite adept.
You know what, Titarian? I hate to tell you, but when this was all Lloth, you were the most expendable.
Ah, yes. So I'll say to Veh'mont, this is something that I'm very skilled in, and it's something that I've done multiple times. Just for a point of clarification, Benny, have I ever infiltrated another house before?
Yes,
or
you
have
have.
I kind of just okay.
You have never done the top 4 house, you haven't done the other top house 2, 3, and 4, but you have infiltrated the 6th house before.
Oh, I have.
Oh yes.
Well, that makes then I'll be able to say to Veh'mont, I've already been in the 6th house multiple times, so this is perhaps something that I could be useful in, if you'll have me.
Yeah, I mean, how could I say no? It sounds like you might know the best place to gather intel in the 6th house, which would be very good. Instead of me having to go find where to gather the intel, which would take longer.
All right. Well, we're gonna plan an infiltration mission. We're gonna wrap it here. So,
Very good.
well done, folks. We will definitely have an episode 2. Maybe we'll try to get a couple more members. I have some very key help to this. But appreciate anyone's watching and the struggles we go through. We have some very new players. I'm very excited to finally play with them, great friends of mine. And we are unraveling a city that I have been passionate about for a long time, and it's great to finally get to play in it and see a lot of it. So we'll get to do a lot more as we find out these houses, who will turn and who will fight and who will possibly die and be erased as the story unfolds. So we will get a date for you guys out there hopefully soon, and then please catch us again. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Benny.
You're welcome, guys.
Appreciate you.